The only promise President Tinubu has fulfilled in his approximately 2.5 months in office is continuing from where Buhari stopped. Before he assumed office, he promised that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. And we are taking this narrative from the point of inflicting hardship on Nigerians. Now, we all know that the Buhari's 8 years in office was about the worst of its type of governance in Nigeria since the history of Nigeria, ranging from banditry to Fulani herdsmen, clash with farm community landowners, and inflation, naira exchange rate, and just name it, unemployment rate, and all forms of kidnappings and killing of our soldiers by Boko Haram and its swap members. So everything about Buhari's government was characterized by negativities. Okay, and we were like, when Tinubu was coming in, he was promising that he will continue from where Buhari stopped, and that is why some people called Tinubu Buhari Pro Max. That continuing from where Buhari stopped is being Buhari Pro Max, and meaning that is going to be worse with Tinubu's government than Buhari's government. Okay, people teased Buhari government when he said at the beginning of his government in 2015 that he would take Nigeria from top to bottom. So at the end of his 8 years of administration, he actually took Nigeria from top to bottom. And that became another topic of discussion around Buhari's administration while he was leaving office. So again, because Tinubu promised that he will continue from where Buhari stopped, we saw how he started just barely 70-something days in office, trying to get to 3 months in office. And we've seen that the hardship inflicted on Nigerians outweighs the hardship that Buhari inflicted in Nigerians in his 8 years in office. That is how bad it is. Okay. Now we saw Tinubu immediately, he was during his inauguration speech. Okay. The only thing significant about the speech, which was not planned to be a part of the speech, was the announcement of the removal of the fuel subsidy. We understand that Buhari has been planning to remove the fuel subsidy, and he said he has paid for fuel subsidy until the end of June before it will be finally out. Okay, but immediately Tinubu was making his inaugural speech, he said that fuel subsidy has gone and is gone forever. Even though it wasn't part of his speech because of the controversial nature of the fuel subsidy case, he still went ahead to mention it. And just a few days after his inauguration, NNPC announced a new fuel price or fuel pump price. And since then, Nigeria had not been the same till today. Fuel that was about 168, some were buying 180 something, 185, then suddenly today is almost 700 naira per liter, just in less than 90 days in office. Is that not absurd? Is that not dangerous? Okay, as if that is not enough, he went and then announced floating of naira exchange rate so as to close the gap between the parallel market and the official rates. Okay, again, in doing that, it became more difficult to source for dollar, and then the exchange rate just went up to as high. It was about 450 naira thereabout, and today is almost 900 naira per dollar. In fact, almost went to 1,000 and came back a bit again. So at the end of the day, the government lost control of the exchange rate. They couldn't control it again. The next thing again now, they can't even control the fuel subsidy. And I see that it's not enough. Nigerians are suffering now. Nobody's buying fuel. People can't pay even to pay transport. People can't pay transport. The price of food commodities went very high, and now the economy became so hard for everybody. Okay, so at the end of the day, you can correlate or relate what Nigerians are passing through to the promise he made that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. And if what we are seeing from Tinubu in this less than 90 days in office is what we are seeing, then you can imagine what will happen if he stays in office for 4 years. It means that there will be dead bodies on the street. It means that it's going to be very, 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 very terrible. It's going to create destitutes. In fact, it's already creating destitutes. And they don't care. And in the midst of that, they are already sharing money. We saw what is happening in the Senate. Okay, we saw what is happening around, Senate giving themselves palliatives or some money to go on recess. We also saw how Fabio, the Senate president, had just bought four L600 Lexus SUVs for 1 billion naira, meaning that it is 250 million for one, which is, and they're all bulletproof vehicles. Okay, as if that is not enough, the Speaker of the House of Rep has allegedly cornered a contract that worth about 9.5 billion naira. And we have also seen how there is also another allegation of sharing about 500 billion naira palliative money at the National Assembly. So what does that tell you? That this government is obviously going to be worse than Buhari's government. Now, when you look at the kind of ministerial roles that they have given out, look at the ministerial portfolios and look at the new ministers, all of them have cases. For instance, even the Senate president has a case with EFCC that is not cleared. How did he even win to become senator without participating in the primaries? That aspect is also not discussed anymore. Okay, now look at the people in administration that Tinubu is giving office. First of all, Bello Matawale of I think Zamfara State also. You saw the is it Zamfara also? Okay, now we saw how after he left office, what happened to all the official cars and everything. A case of allegation there that was instituted against him by the current governor of that state. So a lot of the people coming to power have one